Okay, so a little bit impromptu today. I'm actually making some changes later this week. I got a couple new pedals coming. Kind of, again, I'm still trying to simplify things down. I love the Zoya. I love the HX effects because they're just like blank canvases. You can do anything with them. However, you do everything that you can imagine on a screen this big for both of those things. Which means I'm leaning over quite a bit, a little bit on the fatiguing side. So there are a couple pedals that I've been wanting to anyway. I've owned them both before, and in this setting, I think they'll be perfect. In the meantime, though, since I'm pulling the HX effects and the Zoya off, I figured I'd take a look at the pedals I have right now and see if I can get a similar sound. I'm still going for, at least right now, I'm in that kind of sound on sound mood or mode, whatever you want to call it. And I'm also experimenting with compression because compression is kind of my favorite thing. So we've still got the Sun Face NKT red dot low gain. I'm going into the pedal 76 right now. I think this thing is ideal. If you look, I've actually got the slowest release, fastest attack, and I'm running at about an 8-to-1 ratio. I really want to soften up the transients on that thing into the bass breaker 45. Or actually, I take that back down to the floor to my Morley, into the bass breaker, into the captor, into the 6, out of the effects send of the 6, into my Infinity 2 looper, into my Galaxy from UA. And to be truthful, they implemented the stereo image on this so well. This is really my favorite digital delay. And I'm going to side note that by saying, yes, I know it's a tape emulation, but it's a digital delay, which is fine. But it's not a tape delay. It emulates tape. It's a digital delay that does it really, really well. And I've got some extreme settings on it. So the thing about the Infinity 2 looper, there's a couple things about it. First off, it sounds really great. Secondly, it's stereo ins and outs. And third, you can do the sound on sound thing with it because you can decay the loop. So it's very nice to do sound on sound stuff very easily into whatever your favorite flavor is of whatever effects you want to put after it. And in this case, for today, because the changes I'm making, I've only got 2 pedals coming, and I'll reserve that. They're coming later this week, so I'll do a whole video on that once I get them. They're both pedals that I really liked when I had them. It's just real estate was a factor. They're both large format pedals. But now, as you can see, I've got room. I don't have to worry about the large format thing so much. So, and then of course back into the SSL stereo channel, and then into my OBS software. So I'm just going to do a sound on sound jam here, more or less to get a recording. And the only reason by the way, I put the compressor after the fuzz is I want to be able to roll off on this fuzz and get all the in-between sounds since I took my overdrive off. Who knows? This may change still. That's definitely going to change later this week. But in the meantime, this Galaxy is one of my favorite delays, if not my favorite delay. They did such a good job with it. It sounds so fantastic, and hopefully that's reflected in this recording. And I should also note, this is bringing out my Jaguar today. I haven't played this thing in a while. Yet another thing I really love on this, and I don't know why people skip it over, is this circuit right here is awesome for ambient stuff. This is really a fantastic guitar. I like all the other settings too, but I find myself playing in just this rhythm setting or whatever they call this circuit more often than anything. little bit of a trade-off there, having the compression after the fuzz, because it really raises that noise floor of the fuzz. But I am able to dial in, the amount of gain really nicely. You almost have to leave the fuzz on all the time, otherwise you're going to get that harsh noise floor change when you turn the fuzz on and off. So we'll see what happens. But man, that Infinity 2 looper paired up with the Galaxy, if you want a real simple ambient setup, this is an amazing combo. And I only did just a couple little things with it. Obviously, you can do a lot of stuff with these without having to deep dive into menus. You've got your alt switch here. You just flip it down and you can use all the alternate settings, flip it back. You've got the top level settings. No weird holding switches and doing all this crap. Plus, you can modify it in the app. There's a couple internal settings you can change. I really love the UA pedals, specifically the Galaxy. I have a hard time getting rid of this one, even though I don't use it all the time. This really is my favorite delay, maybe of all time. Now, the one I have coming was my favorite, and I'm real curious to see how it sounds in this setting. But I still don't think I'm going to get rid of the Galaxy, and the Infinity might still live in front of the delay that's coming. So the two pedals I have coming, one's a delay, one's a reverb, both from the same company, and I'm really excited to get them back. So there you go. Something kind of new and fresh, very simple, fresh idea. Use whatever gain and compression you want on the front end, but these two pedals just in tandem, what a great pair to do something super ambient with, or at least sound on sound style. You get that super dreamy an amazing stereo image out of this Galaxy. Just fantastic combo. So there you go. Have some fun.